Every kingdom has a ruler. Every ruler has a story. But before a king wears a crown, he must learn what it truly means to protect. This is not just the story of a lion cub born into royalty. It is the story of growth, sacrifice, and purpose. It is the story of Kion, a prince who was never meant to rule the Pride Lands, yet was destined to become something just as powerful. From the moment Kion was born on Pride Rock, the animals celebrated the continuation of Simba's legacy. Kiara the firstborn was clearly the future queen, groomed to one day take her father's place. Kion, the younger sibling, was often seen as secondary, a cub with no clear destiny beyond living under the shadow of the throne. Yet even as a child, Kion showed a different kind of awareness. He watched the Pride Lands carefully, noticing when balance was disturbed, when animals were treated unfairly, and when danger threatened the circle of life. While others saw him as just a playful cub, destiny was quietly shaping him for a greater responsibility. That destiny revealed itself when Kion was chosen to wield the roar of the elders. The roar was not just power, it was a symbol of responsibility, trust, and judgment. With it came the duty to lead the Lion Guard, a team sworn to defend the Pride Lands and maintain balance. Tradition dictated that the Lion Guard should consist only of lions, but Kion saw strength differently. He believed that true power came from diversity and teamwork, not from tradition alone. He chose Bunga, whose fearless heart outweighed his size, Forley, whose speed and sharp instincts made her unstoppable, Besht, whose strength was matched only by his kindness, and Ono, whose keen eyesight and intelligence guided the team through danger. Together, they became a new kind of Lion Guard, one built on trust, friendship, and shared responsibility. At first, Kion embraced the roar with confidence, using it to protect the Pride Lands from threats and enemies. The power made him feel invincible, but slowly, it began to weigh on him. Each use of the roar carried expectations, and with those expectations came pressure. Kion began to rely on the roar more than his own judgment, forgetting that leadership is not about overpowering others, but about guiding them. Scar's spirit, lingering like a shadow from the past, exploited Kion's doubts, whispering lies that made him believe he was nothing without the roar. These whispers planted seeds of fear and insecurity, pushing Kion further away from the leader he was meant to be. The turning point came when Kion was bitten by Ushari, the venomous snake allied with Scar. Anger clouded his judgment, impatience replaced wisdom, and fear began to guide his actions. Kion lashed out at his friends, made reckless decisions, and refused help, believing that admitting weakness meant failure. The Lion Guard watched helplessly as their leader struggled, torn between power and control, between duty and identity. Realizing that Kion could not heal in the Pride Lands, the Lion Guard made the difficult decision to leave their home in search of the Tree of Life, a legendary place said to have the power to heal even the deepest wounds. The journey was long and filled with challenges, forcing Kion to confront his mistakes and listen to those around him. Along the way, he learned humility, understanding that leadership means admitting when you are wrong and trusting others to help you stand again. When they finally reached the Tree of Life, Kion met Queen Roni, a leader who mirrored his own struggles in unexpected ways. Roni was strong, fiercely protective of her kingdom, but guarded and distrustful of outsiders. She challenged Kion at every turn, questioning his authority and forcing him to prove himself without relying on the roar. Through Roni, Kion learned one of the most important lessons of his journey. True leadership is not about commanding respect, it is about earning it. Faced with his inner turmoil, Kion made the hardest decision of his life. He chose to give up the roar of the elders, not because he was weak, but because he understood that power without balance could destroy him. Letting go of the role was terrifying, yet freeing. Without it, Kion rediscovered his true self, a leader guided by compassion, strategy, and courage, rather than raw strength. When danger threatened the Tree of Life, Kion stood his ground, not as a prince wielding ancient magic. He led with clarity, worked alongside his friends, and proved that the greatest victories are won through unity. In the end, Kion faced a choice that would define his legacy. He could return to the Pride Lands and continue his life as a prince, or he could stay at the Tree of Life, protecting a new kingdom and building a future based on balance and love. Kion chose purpose over title, proving that greatness is not measured by crowns or thrones. He was born a prince, but he became a protector. But in standing beside them, but the one who guards the future, with courage, wisdom, and heart.